Listeners, I know the politics is hot again this morning, as it has been. But what's on my mind this morning actually is not politics. The debate on abortion is again roaring in the public sphere.
I have no opinion.
Who was it that said men shouldn't have an opinion on abortion?
So many people.
What if not entitled to any opinion at all?
If a child has never come out of your body, an opinion on abortion should never come out of your mouth.
Oh, yeah, I heard that recently, like last week or the week before. Well, I
have nothing to say.
I've weighed in on this debate in this forum before, but honestly, I haven't been completely satisfied with my own position. Abortion is an issue that I've given deep and serious thought to for the better part of 20 years. And I started out with a very hardline position. Abortion is morally wrong. Abortion is murder. All life has potential. And I still believe abortion is morally wrong and all life has potential. But over the years, I've come to understand and empathize with the points of the pro-choice side, especially having had friends who've struggled with this intense moral decision. I still believe it's wrong, but I also sympathize with women who've had to make this very difficult decision, and I try not to judge them for making that decision. Now, I've struggled greatly with the question of whether the state should have a role in this, whether the state should criminalize abortion for the very reasons that I've just outlined, because I think abortion is wrong. But then I also think that women should be able to make that decision for themselves. And I know that these two are seemingly conflicting positions. But at the same time, I understand that people sometimes do things that they know are wrong, and they regret it even at the time that they do it. Now, moral decisions, they're not simple. They're not linear. They're often very, very complicated. Okay. And so I was forced to give even more thought to my position, my confused position, if you want to call it that, during a conversation with my teenage daughter recently. Because she asked me what I think about abortion. And I tried to explain that position to her.
Oh, yeah. Oh?
She did, yeah. Well, she's 16 now.
Yeah,
and you can have these conversations. Yeah. So in trying to explain my position, I also felt the need to strongly emphasize personal responsibility, the personal responsibility aspect of the conversation, that in most cases, abortion wouldn't be necessary if people were more sexually responsible. Because, of course, that's the message I want her to have, that you wouldn't need to have an abortion if you're sexually responsible.
Such a mom.
You know, of course. But at the same time, there's just so much hypocrisy in discussions like these, because many of the same people who say abortion is wrong, abortion is a crime, are also the ones who say you can't provide condoms in schools. Mm-hmm. And also the ones who raise a hue and cry when you try to have meaningful sex education in schools. And they make the inane argument that providing access to condoms in schools is encouraging teen sex, even in the face of evidence that teen sex is a reality. It has been for centuries. Teens were having sex and young girls have been getting pregnant when these same people were teens. Is not a new thing, and long before. So spare me the hypocrisy and the lecture on that. And as a matter of fact, what I'm about to say is going to be very controversial. I think we should take things a step further than condoms in schools. I think all girls at the age of 14 should be given the birth control dermal implant. It lasts for 4 years. Once you get it, you don't have to think about it again until it's time to either replace it or remove it. And it will take young girls into the age of adulthood. Here's how that implant works, the contraceptive.
The birth control implant is one of the most effective kinds of birth control you can get. It's a tiny matchstick-shaped rod that releases the hormone progestin to prevent pregnancy. A doctor inserts the implant under the skin in your upper arm, and that's it. You're protected from pregnancy for up to 4 years. The implant is super convenient and mistake-proof. You get it and forget it. A doctor can remove your implant anytime you want, and your ability to get pregnant quickly returns. The implant has possible side effects, but they usually go away in a few months. It has benefits too, like easing period cramps. The implant doesn't prevent the spread of STDs, so use a condom along with the implant to help protect yourself. Want to get the implant? Your nearest Planned Parenthood Health Center is here to help.
Well, that message, as you would have heard at the end, came from Planned Parenthood, but it explains how the implant works. So it's a tiny little thing like the size of a matchstick, and they put it in your upper arm. I first learned of it when a friend of mine got it some years ago, and it can last for the ones that they mentioned says 4 years. I've seen 3 years, I've seen 5 years, I've even seen some that you can get for 10 years to prevent pregnancy for many years. And the benefit of it is that you don't have to think about it. So for people who, especially young girls who might not be responsible enough to remember I have to take the pill every morning or every evening or whatever time, and who may forget lowering the effectiveness of the pill, the dermal implant is something that you don't have to think about. And actually, this implant is something that's been used in a Jamaican government-sponsored program for teen moms for some years, and it's been wildly successful in preventing a second pregnancy. I remember reading about it a few years ago. I don't know if the program is still ongoing, and I really hope it is, because it's been so successful. But I strongly believe that if the state is going to criminalize abortion, and that's going to be your hardcore position, that abortion is wrong, abortion is murder, it's a crime if you do an abortion, then the state should also do everything in its power to help prevent unwanted pregnancies. And I think this is a brilliant way to do it. Of course, as the ad by Planned Parenthood says, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be using condoms as well, because STDs are also a part of this conversation. But if we're going to say abortion must be a crime and there are going to be criminal penalties for abortion, then you also need to play a role in helping to ensure that unwanted pregnancies don't occur. That's what's on my mind.